Welcome to the channel, guys. Today we are going to be making, in this video, two large cutting boards. They end up being 20 by 11.5 by 1.25 inches. Here you can see ripping down some pretty large maple. This definitely gave my table saw a run for its money. Actually tripped the breaker a couple times. Moving on to ripping some black walnut. We ripped it down to the width of the board and then flipped it up on the edge grain. Ripped it down to some thinner strips here. That'll be part of the overall cutting board. Should also mention that I have I'll have to link it down in the video description, using a 0 insert for the table saw. So essentially doesn't allow the thin rips to fall down into the saw. This is a clip of ripping some wenge. This is a pretty interesting wood. First time working with most of these woods actually in this cutting board, but this stuff not the easiest to work with, but it's got a very dark color similar to ebony. Definitely adds some character into the cutting board. Ran into a little issue here with my homemade outfeed table being a little low. I had to stop the cut about 3/4 of the way and then adjust, but yep, you learn as you go. So this cutting board also has what's known as padauk wood. Pretty cool wood. It's got a reddish orange color. It's a hardwood. It's a little bit easier to work with than the wenge, but it's adds some color into the cutting board. So just taking a look at the overall product here, the different widths. So we have maple, walnut, padauk, and wenge, all at different widths. The end result I wanted was a 12-inch wide board by 1.25 inches by 20 inches in length. The boards ended up being 11.5 wide by 20 by 1.25 inches, and I'll explain why once we get a little further into the video here. You can see I have not ran these through the planer yet. Running some padauk through the planer. So the reason why I'm running these through the planer is after ripping them, there is some marks from the blade on the table saw, some saw kerf. If I had a drum sander, I would prefer to use that, but using what I have here, I will probably get a drum sander in the future, but for right now this works. Just getting the strips down to the same width, as well as removing those saw kerfs from the different woods here for these two large cutting boards. You got to be careful with the planer because you can really take off more than you'd like, so recommend going in very small increments when you're removing wood here and planing these strips down. Running some maple through here. All links for all the tools I use are always down in the video description. This is a DeWalt tabletop planer. Very, very impressed with this tool. Here is a clip of all of the strips, all planed down and ready for the big glue up. This process took a very long time. It took just about a half hour. I have it sped up here for the video, but it was this is the biggest glue up I've ever done. Forget where I saw it, but got this adhesive roller from Home Depot, and it really does speed up the process. Once you get the nap on the roller full of glue, you could really speed up the process for getting the glue evenly spread on these wood strips. Using Titebond 3 here, it's waterproof, food safe, seems to work very good. So the red wood is Padauk, the white is maple, the lighter brown is black walnut, and the black is the wenge. The bar clamps that you see there, the two bar clamps, they're 3/4 inch Bessie bar clamps. They're also linked down in the video description. Used quite a bit of glue on this glue up, almost half of one of those tubes that you see there on the screen. You can see I've pretty much used all the clamps I own, as well as some DeWalt clamps I had as well. So after sitting for at least 24 hours, time to unclamp and begin the next process, which is cleaning up the glue and planing down, and then getting the correct size for the two boards I'll get out of this glue up. Those silver and blue clamps are from Harbor Freight. I believe they're Pittsburgh. They work. I mean, you know, they're affordable. They're not the greatest, but for some backups, they're okay. The Bessie clamps, which are the red and black ones, those are from Home Depot. You can see the mess that we have after the glue up. That's fine. That'll all clean up like it was never there. It's taking care of some of these long strips here. So the red saw blade here in the miter saw is a finish blade from Diablo. Does a fantastic job with clean cuts. Just like that, the planer takes care of a lot of that cleanup work. So like I said, these boards ended up being 20 inches in length, and I was able to get 2 boards out of this glue up. So I'm cutting these down to the final width using the miter saw. I don't have a table saw sled. In the future, I will be using the table saw for the final sizing. A little bit more control, probably a slightly better cut than the miter saw, but it worked just fine. So I still have to do some routing, but wanted to do a little bit of sanding first. Then we'll jump into the routing and then some more final sanding. This is 150, I believe. So just a 1/8 inch round over bit in this Makita palm router, excuse me. Seems to be just fine. Really enjoy using this router. It's lightweight, it's easy to use. It's perfect for, smaller jobs just like this. I haven't done any boards with a 1/4 inch round over, or have not done any juice grooves with this router yet. I have to create a jig for that, but I like the way the 1/8 inch round over comes out on these boards. Just takes the sharp edge off and makes it a little bit more friendly when handling the boards. Using a Ryobi 1/8 inch round over router bit seems to work just fine. A little bit less in price than Diablo or some other name brands out there. You can see how nice these boards have come from the initial when we unclamp them, all the glue mess. They've really come a long way after some planing and first round of sanding. Sometimes I actually like the way these boards look before you oil them. I think they would look really cool for some shelving or some floating kitchen shelving. So on to the final stages of sanding. Like I said, 150 is where we start. Then we go up to 250 and then 350 for the final. Really gives it that very, very smooth, almost like a glass finish before the oiling. You can see a burn mark there from the router. Take care of that with the sanding. Make that go away. No problem. Like I said, I think sometimes I like the way these boards look before the oiling. I think that would look really good for some floating shelves, some exposed kitchen cabinet shelving. So here we are, finally, after all that work, many hours. The oiling, really cool, does make the grain pop, but it does darken the wood as well. But it really makes the grain pop and protects it from all the oils and the food that'll be cut on these in the future. using Howard's cutting board oil for these, as well as they'll also get the butcher block protection as well. Really, really cool look. They come out very, very nice. So these two boards are actually sold. If you're interested in ordering or have questions about boards, feel free to let me know down in the comments or drop me an email. Here's another angle of oiling the other sides. If you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and join us here, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for watching. All links are always down in the video description. Appreciate if you guys use those links. Those are affiliate links. Does help support the channel. It does not cost you anything. Once again, if you're interested in these boards, have any questions, want to order some, feel free. Let me know down in the comments or send me an email. Hopefully the new owners of these two boards enjoy them as much as I did in making them. Very happy with the end result and learned a lot along the way. First time working with these woods. Here's a couple end shots here right before they're getting shipped out. Also, both of these boards do have non-skid rubber feet with stainless screws on the bottom side. Guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And hopefully see you down in the comments. Take care.